Hello, good morning, good evening, and welcome to Bigg World Cinema. Without further ado, we'll continue with what you're here for. And to ensure this channel survives, please don't skip the ads. Thank you. In this video, I discuss the ladies of Cebu and Manila. Not just about where to meet them in these cities, but also about their differences in attitude and approachfulness. I lived for almost 3 years in Cebu City. For almost half of that time, I was involved with just one Filipina who I'd met on date in Asia. I briefly dated a handful of other Filipinas who I also met on dating websites. Having lived in Cebu City throughout lockdown and its aftermath, people were forced to wear masks in public. So meeting Filipinas in public was never straightforward. During that time, the only places you could check out their facial features was in food courts or online. Although the mask mandate in Cebu was dropped in September 2022, many Filipinas would still mask up in public. Although I feel that has got nothing to do with catching COVID. More likely they were still wearing masks, afraid you might miss your footing, bearing witness to the riot going on between their ivories. I couldn't, or rather I could, understand their reasons for still wearing face masks on their dating website profiles. Whenever I post videos talking about dating websites, I'd receive numerous comments about websites being full of scammers and you should steer clear of them. But I think in this day and age you need to cover all angles, being more advantageous meeting Filipinas both in real life and online. My rule of thumb with dating websites is that he's a scammer unless she proves otherwise. With both cities, there's plenty of places to meet Filipinas in public. But as Rebeauty, the Filipina vlogger, illustrated in one of her videos, Filipinas often feel uncomfortable when approached by a foreigner in public. You need to choose someone who's giving off the right signals, who looks like they want to be approached. Otherwise, it's just going to be awkward. I should know, as I've chosen wrongly a few times. Other vloggers always recommend you should go to the mall to meet Filipinas, which is pretty archaic advice in my opinion. Imagine the scenario: you're in a crowded mall. You spot an attractive lady and approach her. Everyone's watching your exchange. Filipinas are generally shy, so she's going to get embarrassed. I've bounced up to girls who've responded with a quick word while still moving. I actually don't like approaching Filipinas in the mall. If it feels unnatural for me, then I know I'm only going to come across as nothing more than a sleazy guy approaching a girl in a mall. I'd rather it happen organically, without thought, in places where I'm just meandering, without consciously thinking I'm going to go to such and such a place in the hope of meeting a Filipina. You need to just go about your day naturally and not overthink it. Don't think, I'm going to go out and find a Filipina today. So in Cebu, this can be anywhere, on public transport, on a bus, jeepney, trike. In the food courts, at the shopping malls. At Cebu Mercado Food Court, open Thursday to Sunday nights. Or at Carbon Night Market, open Friday to Sunday nights. Both which offer live music. Or on the lovely lawns of Plaza Independencia. Or across the river on Lapu-Lapu Island at the Mactan Shrine, or at eateries around Mactan Newtown. At the roof terrace bars, such as Straight Up Bar at Seda Hotel in IT Park, Highlights Bar at Harold's Eve Hotel, or Verified Lounge at the Avenir building. Wherever you are, you just need to have a casual word with whoever crosses your path without forcing yourself on someone. When I lived in Cebu, I'd get stared at on the street. But it wasn't how some vloggers made it sound, as if every Filipina you pass is undressing you with their eyes. I think that's a fallacy. Maybe it happens to younger, more attractive foreigners, and maybe that happened to the majority of foreigners 5 or 10 years ago. And also in places where foreigners are a rarity, such as the provinces. But certainly not in the bigger cities where foreigners are a regular sight. The looks I'd receive in Cebu were usually of intrigue rather than desire. And more looks would come my way when I was out walking with my young Filipina girlfriend. The look was more, what's that pretty young girl doing with that old fart? In saying that, I do feel that Filipinas in Cebu are more responsive to senior foreigners. And you'll have more opportunity of shacking up with a younger Filipina in Cebu than in Manila. Now, this is only my personal opinion, remember. Although I did see in another YouTube video presented by Filipina ladies interviewing Filipinas, one Filipina say she didn't need a foreigner as she was able to earn her own money. And there we have it, straight from a Filipina's mouth. Foreigners are only there for Filipinas to turn to out of desperation. Whereas Filipinas in Cebu will say that age is just a number, many Filipinas in Manila have an upper age limit. Manila ladies will regularly state that they're not interested in anyone over 40. It's a good job I lie about my age, with my online profiles listing me as 46 or 47. It appears to me that guys over 60 have got fewer opportunities in Manila. I've been living here for almost 4 months now. It didn't take me long to discover that in my experience, Filipinas in Manila are particularly out of reach and standoffish. Twice I've been totally blanked in Makati. Sure, it must be annoying at times for girls on the street to be approached by aging pensioners wanting to engage with them. But to actually brush me away with a flick of the wrist was humiliating. In all my times approaching Filipinas on the streets of other cities, that has never happened. Filipinas in Cebu, in my opinion, are much more approachable than in Manila. Sure, some have been less accommodating than others, but at least have exchanged a few words, such as "naff off, Grandpa," rather than blanking me outright. In Manila, I messaged a girl on Telegram. I'm not keen on Telegram as it's mainly used by undesirables, but this girl had put her Telegram number on her Bumble profile. So I messaged her with a photo saying my name and that I'd seen her on Bumble. She immediately responded, "Age and work, please." Strange opening question, I responded. "Why? Those things are crucial for me." "You didn't even say hello first," I said. "My bad, hello," she said. I responded that I'd been in Manila for a month and had found Filipinas here had a high and mighty attitude. She responded that she was straight to the point, as she didn't want to be with someone with no job who can't pay for a date. Told her I was 46, worked online, was solvent, but she didn't respond. Which was fair enough, as I didn't like her shit attitude anyway. Other girls on the dating sites in Manila say, "Hit me up if you're gonna spoil me." I'm on 5 dating websites, but it took me over a month before I had my first date in Manila. In almost 4 months, I've been on just 3 dates. For the most part, when I'm walking the streets of Metro Manila, particularly in the more salubrious areas of BGC or Greenbelt Mall, I'm ignored. Many Filipinas in Manila appear to be more independent, solvent, with a superior "I don't need you" attitude. There's an area called Forbes Town in BGC with high-rise condos where high-flying Filipinas hang out. It feels like a rich area of London or Manhattan, and not an area where I feel comfortable eating and drinking. There's a lot more fitter ladies in Manila, lycra girls with great bodies, some lycra girls with surgically enhanced boobage. Manila ladies on their Insta, Facebook or dating profiles will have photographs shot in the gym. This wasn't my experience of Cebu ladies. My Filipina girlfriend in Cebu didn't exercise because she thought it was tiring. So none of these sophisticated, slony Manila ladies in their 20s or 30s have any interest in me at all. And why should they? I'm punching way above my weight and below my age anyway. Even if I gave my toupee a thorough wash and my Jesus boots a good shine, I wouldn't score in this neighbourhood. Foreign guys in their 30s and 40s will get a look in, but not much older. Forbes Town is no place for old men. I don't believe foreign guys 50 plus get much attention in this manner. It was a similar feeling to how I felt in the UK when I turned 50, became instantly invisible. Fortunately, these hoity-toity Filipinas don't monopolise Metro Manila. There's plenty of regular gals hanging out in BGC also. I like eating in the food courts in BGC at Uptown Mall, Market, SM Aura and Food District, plus the strip of restaurants and bars along Bonifacio High Street. I love sitting outside New Orleans bar at the weekend and watch the parade of beauties glide past. The road on 5th Avenue is also close to traffic on the weekend, so the public can stand and take selfie after selfie in front of the 3D advertising screen without fear of being run down. Elsewhere in Makati is the fabulous Greenbelt shopping malls, full of interior and alfresco bars, restaurants and open spaces, which is another good area to hang out. Although not as good as the BGC area in my opinion. Nearby on Saturdays is the Salcedo Community Market, which is an open-air market offering a variety of fine dining experiences. I visited the market only once. Well, actually twice if I count the day I turned up but the market had been closed because of an impending typhoon that turned out to be a false alarm. When I returned to Salcedo a few weeks later, there was plenty of attractive Filipinas in the area. At the other end of Makati Avenue is Rockwell, which includes Power Plant Mall, the ultimate designer shopping mall experience. Nearby is the buzzing nightlife district of Poblacion, including the Hot Asia food court, which offers live music, cheap food and barbecue 7 nights of the week. Just be aware that P. Burger Street is the red light district. But there's some other good bars in the neighbouring roads where the locals hang out. One Saturday night, my Spanish buddy and I were walking the streets between bars when 2 Filipinas walked past us. One of them smiled at me. They were clearly not pros. They walked down the street and then returned. As they passed us the second time, I greeted them, but addressed the Filipina who hadn't smiled at me. No, we're not," said the Filipina, holding up a hand, halting my approach, her thinking that I'd wanted them to be pros, which obviously I hadn't. "Here at BWC, Uncle doesn't charge a subscription fee like Auntie does, but buying us a coffee would be much appreciated. Thank you." There's also plenty of quaint Filipino neighbourhoods around Manila to spend time in. I live in the barangay of Guadalupe Nuevo, having declined to live in the sterile enclave of BGC. Here I regularly engaged with the locals at the sari-sari stores and enjoyed dining at the carinderias on my doorstep. But I've also travelled across the river to wander around sprawling Mandaluyong, which houses another salubrious mall called Shangri-La, plus Greenfield District, an area of shops, outdoor food court and bars. I've also taken the packed commuter train further north to Quezon City to visit a district called Cubao Expo, which is a trendy hangout of retro shops, diners and bars for the Insta generation, although filming there is strangely banned. Whilst continuing my daily trawl of the dating websites, I came across the profile of an incredibly pretty 28-year-old who'd been on Pina Love for a year, but I'd never seen her profile before. In fact, she reminded me of another incredibly attractive Filipina I'd seen at a bar with a foreigner at Greenfield in Mandaluyong a month earlier. I messaged her on Pina Love, and she responded saying she lived in Mandaluyong. Gosh, was this her? I asked which places she went to in Mandaluyong, and she said only restaurants, so this probably wasn't the girl I thought it was. She asked if I had WhatsApp, offering her number. I messaged her there, and she immediately asked if she could video call me. At the time, I was in the corridor of my hotel uploading a video to YouTube, as the connection was better on a lower floor. When we connected on video, she asked where I was, and I told her where I was staying. "It's not a plush hotel," I said, but she said, "No problem." I didn't believe her. She lived in the Shangri-La condo in Mandaluyong on the 41st floor. Said she had 2 daughters aged 6 and 7 living back home with her parents in Mindanao. As we chatted, she was clearing up around her, getting ready to work remotely. Normally, I wouldn't entertain a woman with 2 kids, but she was incredibly beautiful. I was nervy and awkward and didn't really present myself well, but suggested we meet up. She agreed, but said she needed to work now, and after ending the call sent me a photo of her opening her laptop. I responded saying, "Okay, enjoy." But the message I sent, she didn't read, as she'd already deemed me unworthy. It felt strange, as if I was back in the West, being judged on my social status, as if I was considered beneath her, which I frequently felt whilst living in Manila. But Manila isn't just about gold diggers. I'd been living here almost 2 months, and one afternoon was walking along the man-made Dolomite beach near Manila Bay. It's not a great beach, to be honest, but the only beach on the shoreline of Manila. As I walked along the beach, there were 3 Filipinas sat on a wall. One of them was cute and we exchanged glances, so I walked over and asked if I could sit with them. The cute Filipina immediately called over her 6-year-old daughter, who was playing nearby, who begrudgingly presented me with a prepared English introduction about herself. The cute Filipina said she was from Zamboanga in Mindanao. Ha! Another one! I've lost count of how many hot girls from Mindanao I've connected with in Manila. The cute Filipina's English wasn't great, but she asked about my story and told me that she was married and was currently visiting her husband here, who works in construction. Too bad she was married, I thought, although she did reveal that she'd previously cheated on him. She took my Facebook details, but I never heard from her again, unfortunately. So you don't need to risk being decapitated in Mindanao to meet the most beautiful ladies in the Philippines, as many of them come to Manila anyway. Manila hasn't been great for me dating-wise. Many commenters have experienced the same and have advised me to leave. I'm not living in Manila just for the ladies. I love the city. I love living in Manila. I'm not here looking for love. I'm not searching for a girlfriend. Arranging a date with a Filipina is often more frustrating than it's worth. I don't really need a Filipina to complete my day. That's what the sun's there for. I can get my satisfaction from a few hours of vitamin D. It's just a shame that I don't get any attention in the places I like to frequent. As an older man living in Metro Manila, you need to choose your areas carefully. Just avoid the high society, highly guarded, nouveau riche hallowed turf of Forbes Town. I'm going to spend another month in Manila, then leave the metropolis and travel around a bit. In the meantime, I'm spending my evenings wandering around the dirty coastal shoreline of Manila, feeding off the scraps of the unwealthy on the edge of the city, waiting for the night boats to arrive from Mindanao. I know my place. Just a quick reminder to please click the thumbs up button if you liked the video, or thumbs down button if you didn't. Obviously. Thank you. If you liked the video, please could you like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to ding the notification bell to see my videos before your friends. See you on the next video. Take care everyone.